We're gonna be going over side hustles that if you start today can make you an extra $100 to $500 a day in the next couple of weeks. The most important thing that you could do during a recession is to increase your earning potential. You need to put yourself in a position where you can make more money. And in order to do that, you need to find something that checks off on these two things. The number one thing is it has to be something that you're interested in. And the second thing is that it has to be something that makes money quickly. Because if it makes you money quickly, then you get some feedback and then you know that it works and then you can continue on. My name is Joaquin Corrales, and in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you 37 side hustles that you can start with absolutely no experience. And I guarantee that if you watch this video until the end, you're going to find a side hustle that connects with you. Something that as soon as I say it is going to call out to you. And I'm gonna show you how you can start all of these businesses without any prior experience at all. Because every single one of these side hustles can be started with just a couple of days of research, and I'm gonna show you exactly how. Let's dive in. The first side hustle is an automation business. Look, baby boomers are born between 1946 and 1964, and they account for 40% of small businesses, and most of them are service-based businesses. A consumer report from 2020 showed that 78% of these businesses were profitable. So these people are making money, but they're tired. They're tired of taking appointments. They're tired of answering phone calls. They're tired of doing customer support. And they're tired of all these things that require a lot of manual work, which is where the opportunity lies. And that is in offering automation services to these types of service-based businesses. Now, I know that this may sound crazy, but it's actually super simple. It's doing things like going to plumbers and showing them an easy way for them to take appointments. It's going to pool service businesses and showing them how to have clients automatically pay them every single month, as opposed to having to call every single client on the phone begging for payment. It's setting up a simple process where a customer receives a text message asking for a Google review after the service has been provided to them. It's things like these that could be learned in just a couple of days, literally by just watching some YouTube videos. And we all know that boomers have no idea how to use computers. It's literally rocket science to them, which is amazing for you and I. Look, I think this is an amazing opportunity. Like, you can literally become the automatic scheduling guy for plumbers and be known for that. The second side hustle is a dropshipping business. This was actually the business that got me started and one where I've made millions of dollars, and I started with absolutely no experience. Now, when it comes to dropshipping, there's a lot of different ways that you can dropship. There's Shopify, there's Amazon, there's Facebook marketplaces, there's all these different places that you could dropship. But for the sake of this side hustle, we're gonna focus on Shopify dropshipping. And so the idea is really straightforward. The first step is that you have to find an item that has a cool factor and one that you can source and ship out of the US, right? So not China. That doesn't really work anymore because the shipping times are too long. You're gonna use websites like spocket.co. This is a really good website to find products. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a Shopify store using one of the available templates. And then finally, you need a way for people to land on your website, right? So remember, how the entire model works is that someone lands on your website, they buy the product, and after the sale has been confirmed, then you ship the product directly to the customer, right? So this form of drop shipping, a drop shipping business, is when you don't hold the actual inventory. So next, we need a way for people to come to your website so they can order the product. To get people coming to your website, there's the organic route, which doesn't cost anything, and then there's the paid route. We're gonna start with the organic route because you want to take as little risk as possible. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on Amazon or even on spocket.co. You're going to get your hands on a unit, right? On one of these items, something that has a cool factor. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create like 4 or 5 different TikTok accounts, and you're just going to start taking videos of you using the items. And you're going to put the link in the bio of this TikTok account to your store. So what's going to happen is that some of these videos are going to get some organic traction where TikTok is going to start putting these videos in front of people, and people are gonna undeniably go to your profile and click on the link in the bio. Out of thousands of people that see your posts, a couple of them are gonna do that, a couple hundred, right? Eventually. And so what that will do is that people are able to come to your store, see the item, and then a smaller percentage of those people that land in the store will actually go forward and buy the item. Now, when someone buys an item in your store, you need to make sure that you then ship it to them, because remember, you're not holding any inventory. So that is the organic way. It's a little little bit slower, but it definitely works. Now, if you want to take things up a notch and really scale that, then you would start running paid advertising, right? This is a little bit more difficult, but again, nothing that you can't learn by just doing a little bit of research. And so you would run advertisements on the TikTok videos that worked organically. So the ones that got the most amount of views organically, those are going to be the ones that you then start running a little bit of advertising to. You could spend a few days looking up Shopify dropshipping on YouTube, or if you give me a couple of weeks, I'm going to be releasing a course on YouTube on Shopify dropshipping that's going to be better than every paid course that's out there. If that's already been released, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link it up here or somewhere in the bio. Next up, we have retail arbitrage, and I absolutely love this business model as well because it requires no experience at all. Now, what this means is buying items from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, or Marshall's and stuff like that and selling them online. Now, you've probably heard about Gary Vee, right? And he goes around to different garage sales and he checks the items on eBay.
Like, hold on, like, trash talk to me. 5 cents, 30 bucks.
The thing about that is that on eBay, you primarily sell used items when you buy them from these garage sales. Yes, you could sell new items, but a lot of what he teaches is to sell used. But we're not gonna focus on eBay here. We're actually gonna do it a little bit differently in a way that I think is much, much better. And that is by selling on Amazon. And so let's go ahead and do an example. So let's say that you go to Marshall's and you find this cooler right here, right? And you could buy this cooler for, let's say, $60. So what you're going to do is you're going to take out your Amazon app and you're going to scan different items. So let's say you scan this cooler, which you could buy for $60, and you see that it's selling on Amazon for $119. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to open up something that's called an Amazon revenue calculator. So this is a free calculator on Amazon, and you're going to put in the details of the item. And as soon as you put in all these different details in there, for example, you're selling it for $119, you're buying it for $60, let's say it costs an average of $15 to ship it to the client, you're going to see that for this example, you're making $25.15 from selling this single item. And this is just one example because you can do this with so many different items, right? And this is such a cool business model because it's such low risk. You're going out there, you're putting the extra work, you're scanning all these different items, and you're finding something that is selling right now that you can buy and flip at a profit using Amazon. This is untapped. There's not a ton of people doing this, and I think there's a lot of potential here for someone that's just getting started. Next up, we're gonna be going into a category that I feel has an insane amount of potential. Now, the next couple of businesses and side hustles that I'm going to be going over are things that require a little bit more skill. But the magical thing here is that you don't have to do the work. Let me explain. There are companies out there making millions and millions of dollars outsourcing all of the work to other people. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to start off with being a shorts creator. Now, by shorts, I mean anything from YouTube shorts to TikTok content to Instagram reels to Instagram stories and so on, which is something that has been extremely popular lately. Now you may be wondering, Joaquin, the title of this video says side hustles that I could start with no experience, and I'm not a video editor. And that's okay, because the category of these side hustles that I'm gonna go into right now for a little bit are gonna be things that you can outsource and charge more than what you are charging the client. For example, the person editing this video right now, the person that is editing the video that you are watching right now is not the person that I'm paying, right? I'm paying someone that is then outsourcing this work to a video editor, and they are paying them a different amount of money. And so how it works is that I pay someone to edit this video that you're watching, and they're capturing my message. They're capturing how I want the video to look, how I want it to be edited, and all these different requirements that I set. But they don't do the actual work themselves. Then what they do is they give this exact same information to a video editor who is going to charge them less than what I am paying them, okay? And this is absolutely brilliant because this is something that you can do, and it opens up a whole new world of things that you can go out there and do because you don't need to be the expert in it. You just need to know a little bit more than the person that is requesting the service, and you could do that with literally a couple of days of research to be able to talk a little bit more about the topic. And so you can use websites websites like Upwork, like Fiverr, and so on to offer these services, or you can just DM people on Instagram. The person that is editing this video, right? How I found this company is because they were DMing me on Instagram, and they DM'd me for a long time, and eventually I replied to them, and now we have an ongoing business relationship. And you could do that same exact thing, and not just with YouTube Shorts, but with so many other things that I'm gonna share with you as well. The next side hustle is offering copywriting services. Now, what is copywriting, right? Copywriting is writing that is used in the form of marketing and sales. It's writing that persuades. It's writing that promotes a product and so on. Now, some people are gonna be more naturally good at this than others. But again, this is one of those things that you can take the requirements from someone. Maybe they want to build a landing page, or they want to do something like that, and you could go ahead and outsource it to someone that has been doing this for years and just pay them less than what you are charging. The next side hustle is doing email marketing. Now, this is very similar to copywriting, and something that you're going to realize is that the money is in the niches, right? And so email marketing is really just, writing emails and so on. And most emails are gonna be, sales. It's gonna be copywriting. But this is a segment of copywriting that is specialized in just email marketing. And you could do the same exact thing. You could take the requirements, you could get exactly what it is that someone wants, and then you could go out there and outsource this to someone else. Or you could spend a couple of days learning how the entire process works and start a business doing email marketing, copywriting, or any of these things that makes you a lot of money. Look, in my company, we have an email marketer that we hire. So we outsource this, right? But we outsource this to someone that, again, outsources the work itself. And I have no problem with it. And no one has any problem with it at all, because I don't want to go out there and have to manage the different people. I just need the work done, right? And so the email marketer that we pay, we send out anywhere between 25 to 30 emails a month for the different businesses, right? And this email marketer is paid $3,600 a month, and they do 30 emails a month. And so I pay an email marketing expert $120 an email. And again, this person is outsourcing the work. Now, how much are they paying for the email to actually be written? I would estimate anywhere between $40, $50, $60, maybe a little bit more, right? Now, you may be wondering, Joaquin, why don't you just go out there and find the person who could write the email for cheaper? And the bottom line is that it's not worth my time. Why? Because that person's probably going to require more management. It's going to take probably a lot of time to find them and so on, which is the same exact reason why this could work for someone like you. If this was something that you wanted to start, they're not going to go out there and find the person that is going to be doing the work for cheaper. They're going to go out there and find the person that is going to give them the most amount of confidence that the job is going to get done no matter what. And that's what you need to do with all these different business models. It's not so much about what the business does, although it also matters, right? You should still like the business model, but it's more about your ability to convey to the other person that you could get the job done, and then outsourcing it for less money. The next side hustle is being a thumbnail creator for YouTubers. Look, we live in a crazy world right now where there are millions of people making a ton of money off of YouTube. People not like me. I have not made a single dollar off of YouTube. But there are other people, people that get subscribers and people who get their videos liked. And there's an entire business that could be made for this, and that is by making thumbnails for all of these people. With a couple of days of research, you can learn what makes good YouTube thumbnails, right? There's a bunch of videos on YouTube on exactly what makes great YouTube thumbnails. Or again, the train of thought here, the idea here that we keep coming back to is you could also outsource that work to someone else. The next side hustle is to freelance on Fiverr or Upwork. Now, Fiverr and Upwork are websites that I have used for years to find people to do different things for me, whether it's to edit videos, to edit thumbnails, to virtual assistants, and all these different things. And so what a lot of people do is they create an agency within Fiverr and Upwork based around what it is that they like, the things that they're interested in. And again, you don't need to be an absolute expert to be a freelancer. You just need to know a little bit more than the person that you're providing this service to, okay? Because all you need is for them to agree to pay you. And then when it comes to delivering the work, right, you can always outsource that to someone that has much more experience than you, and you could simply manage them and learn throughout that entire process. Now, the amazing thing about Fiverr and Upwork is that these places are where the clients live, right? And so you're gonna make a profile there. And as long as you structure that profile properly, and as long as your rates are good, eventually people are gonna start hiring you for these jobs. And then the big focus is making sure that you deliver exactly what you said you were gonna deliver, which you can do yourself after doing a bit of research, or you can outsource that work, as we've been saying. Now, the big focus on these platforms is you wanna make sure that you get 5-star reviews no matter what. Even if at the beginning, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, even if you have to do things for cheap, even if you have to lose money at the beginning, it's still something that's very smart. So for example, let's say that you're freelancing on Fiverr or Upwork and you're doing thumbnails for YouTubers. And let's say that you have someone that can make these YouTube thumbnails for $10 a thumbnail, right? You might charge the client $6 or $5, even though it's gonna cost you for every single thumbnail. Now, why would you do that? Well, the reason why you would do that is to get a bunch of 5-star reviews at the beginning, so then you can increase your prices, and the software, the system, the platform can start giving you more and more leads and more customers, which is an amazing idea when it comes to freelancing on these websites. The next side hustle is being an interior designer. And listen, a lot of these businesses that we're going through, again, the main idea behind all of this is that it has to be something that you like, not something that you're good at. I didn't say that. Something that you're interested in, something that you really like and have passion for, and something that can make you money quickly. Because if it makes you money quickly, then you get some feedback, and then you know that it works, and then you can continue on, right? And so if you like interior design, if you like decorating your house or doing any of these things, you can again go on Fiverr, go on Upwork, DM people on Instagram, do all these different things, because there's people out there, millions and millions of people, myself included, who will pay people to design the interior of their house or their office or anything like that. As well as, and this is a little bit of a hack here, another thing that you can do once you get a client, an interior designer client, is you could send them affiliate links to the different products. This is something that is untapped and a lot of people don't understand or even know about. And it's, for example, let's say that you're helping someone decorate a room and you're suggesting a bed and a nightstand and a light and so on. What you're going to do is you're going to recommend very specific products and you're going to send them your affiliate link. And so what you could do is you can even offer interior design services for cheaper, knowing that people are gonna buy the products using your link, and you're gonna be able to make even more money doing that. The next side hustle is being a website creator. And this was actually one of the first side hustles that I started that made me a little bit of money. I didn't make a lot of money doing this, but it really opened up an entire world to me where I felt comfortable being online and making websites and doing all these different things. And how I did it was, again, by watching videos on YouTube and using a very simple platform called WordPress. And so when I was, 15, 16 years old, I was out there, pitching websites to all these different businesses as a side hustle. And I would charge them anywhere from $500, $700, $800 for a website, which is not a lot of money, right? If you go to a professional agency out there, they're gonna quote you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 for the same exact thing, more than likely, right? Which is why you have an advantage. Because if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, man, I wanna learn how to go out there and make websites, you can do it even if you have never done it before. And the amazing thing is that you don't have to pay an office $3,000 a month. You don't have employees to pay. You don't have any of these things, which is why you can charge much cheaper than all of these agencies that are going out there and costing an arm and a leg. So remember, when it comes to going out there and creating websites, you want to look up WordPress, and you want to use, here's the real key, you want to use WordPress themes, okay? You don't know how many websites I've made in my life when I was younger and I was getting started, where I would charge someone $800, and all I had to do, literally all I had to do, was go to WordPress.com, make an account, upload a theme, okay? Upload a theme and modify a couple of pieces of text. It was zero programming, zero experience, zero coding, none of that. You learn everything on the fly, and these places make it so simple. But again, we're providing people a service, and it's a service service that's much cheaper than getting it from an agency. And on top of that, we're doing something that they don't know how to do, right? It's an amazing business model. And I love the side hustle idea of making websites. The next side hustle on the list is selling handmade goods on Etsy. So Etsy is an online marketplace, and most of the things that are sold on there are handmade. Now, if you're watching this and you're anything like me, you are not creative at all. Zero creativity. I cannot draw a stick figure. I can't make anything with my hands. That's not my thing, right? But everyone, absolutely everyone, knows someone that is good at making handmade things. And again, that's where you have to be smart and you have to get creative, because I'm 100% sure that you know someone that makes something that can be sold on Etsy, but they have never thought about selling it on Etsy. They don't have the business mind like you do. They don't know that you could go out there and make a handcrafted, yo-yo and sell it on Etsy for $40. For $30, right? And so what you're going to do is you're gonna bridge that gap, right? You're gonna find someone that can make handmade goods, and you're gonna go ahead and sell them on an Etsy store. Or more than that, you could find handmade goods at Marshall's, at all these places, things that look like they're handmade, and post them on an Etsy store and sell them, which is absolutely amazing. The cool thing about this as well is that these platforms like Etsy, they are where the clients live. They're where the customers live. And so if you put a good title and you price it properly, people are going to buy these items. The next side hustle is real estate photography and video. Now, as you know, real estate is going absolutely insane. And every time a house goes for sale or an Airbnb needs to get listed or any of those things, people need pictures. And everyone out there, if you watch any video on YouTube about what is the most important thing about selling a house, what is the most important thing about listing your short-term rental, everybody is always screaming and pounding down people's throat that it's photography, which is good for you because they're already marketing for you. All you need to do is go out there, and maybe the first couple of houses you need to do for free, right? So that you could build a small portfolio, but then you could start charging people $300, $400, $500 per house even, especially if you invest in a drone and you're able to get a drone up and take a couple of shots like that as well. So this is a really good business that you could start with absolutely no experience. The next side hustle is a transcription service. So again, this is one of those where you can either provide the service yourself if you know multiple languages, or if you don't, that's okay, because there's a world out there of people providing transcription services, right? All you need to do is bridge the gap. Figure out how can you put yourself in front of the customer in a better way. And that could be done through a Fiverr profile, an Upwork profile, and all these different things. And here's the key as well. Okay, this is gonna be a life hack right here. This is gonna be a hack that a lot of people don't know. Make sure that you guys write this down. I mean, I'm just coming up with these really good ideas here because I have so much experience on these platforms, right? On Fiverr, Upwork. Sometimes, for real, listen to this. Sometimes I will go on Fiverr or I will go on Upwork, right? And when I'm looking for people to hire, sometimes I want someone that's in the US. If I'm doing a transcription service, I want someone that lives in the US. Or if I'm doing a YouTube editing service, I want someone to be in the US. Or I want them to be in Canada or the UK or something like that, right? Now, here's what's happening. I know 99% of the time when I hire this person, even though they're in the US, I know that the person doing the work is probably outsourced to a different part of the world where the cost of living is much lower. And because the cost of living is much lower, for example, the Philippines or India and so on, the cost of the service is much lower. But I am okay with that because I am betting on that this person, sure, they might be a little bit more expensive, but they're going to have vetted, right, and curated a list of people on their side that can get these jobs done. And so again, even if you don't know multiple languages, this is still something that you could offer, and that is a transcription service. The next side hustle is creating an online course. Now, this could be centered around something that you're absolutely passionate about and something that you love. There's been something your entire life that people have told you that you excel in over the average person, right? Like maybe your family always comes to you for computer advice or for you to fix something on the computer, or they come to you so that you can help them out with some specific problems or something like that. Everyone has a little bit of something like that. And so that could be an idea for something that could be the topic of an online course. Or if you're following the train of thought here, and if you're catching on to a lot of the things that we're going over in this video, it could even be something that you're not good at, that you don't know that much about, but that you are passionate about. There's online courses out there making millions and millions of dollars. So why can't you make one that makes a couple $1,000s a month, right? The bottom line is that you can. And how you can do that is by selling your course on places like Udemy or making your own website and advertising that course. And you don't even have to be the person that creates the course. You can outsource this course to different people who are experts in this field and have a lot more experience than you. The next side hustle is creating digital products. Now, when it comes to creating digital products, what I mean are things like checklists, or printables, or downloadables, or all these different things. And how you could get ideas for these things is by going on Etsy. If you go on Etsy and you look up digital products, you will find thousands of different products out there that are sold where there's nothing that gets shipped. It's literally you pay $10, $15, $20 and you download an ebook or you download a PDF or something like that, right? Like I remember a couple of months ago, I was starting my first ever Airbnb. And honestly, I didn't know much about Airbnb, right? But I did know that there are thousands of people out there that do. And so I went on Etsy and I paid $20 for an ebook that spoke about Airbnb, and it had house rules and it had these printables and these downloadables and all these different things. And what I was looking at when it came to buy that, I was looking at what was the most cost effective and includes the most amount of things. So this was like a 7-in-1 kind of offer, and it was $20, right? Now, this is the type of thing that you create one time, right? It's something that's scalable because you create one time and you're able to continue making money from it over and over and over again. Like this person, they probably spent, I don't know, $400 in creating this entire product, whether they made it or they outsourced it to someone else. And literally, with 20 purchases, they have now made all their money back and they're fully profiting. The next side hustle is a rental concierge, and I think this is actually a really cool one. So what this business is all about is about lifestyle related stuff. So it's about supercars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Rolls Royces. It's about yachts and all these different things. And so what you're going to do is you're going to create a social presence of a luxury concierge brand, a brand that rents supercars, that rents yachts, and that does all these different things. But here's the key. You don't actually need to own any of these things, because all you're going to do is you are going to be an affiliate of a company that provides those services. And so you're gonna go out there and you're going to contact a couple of different supercar rental companies, a couple of different yacht chartering companies, and you're gonna ask them for their wholesale price list. And this wholesale price list is gonna be your cost of renting a yacht for 4 hours, for 8 hours, of renting a Lamborghini for an entire day. And then what you're going to do is you're going to charge more than this, and you're gonna make money on the difference. A lot of companies out there are doing exactly this, but you don't even know. Like I didn't even know when I was first getting started that a lot of things work like this, where you are benefiting from some other company and you're outsourcing everything to them. Which leads us to our next side hustle, and that is an affiliate program. And it's something that works very much like what I just described in the last one. And that is, if there's something out there that you love, whether it's products on Amazon that you love buying, or supercars or yachts or all these different things, you can become an affiliate for these types of companies where you have your own links or you have a wholesale cost that you get the item at, and you're then able to sell it for more. And there are people out there making millions of dollars being affiliates. But the key about doing an affiliate program is that you need to get it in front of people. Whether that's by making a TikTok where you're sharing all these things, or you're recording, you're posting stories of you to your own friend list or families or whatever, of you using these items with a link, right? That is a nice side hustle that could pay you a couple $100s a day. The next side hustle is to create a YouTube channel. And it doesn't have to be a channel like this where I'm talking into a camera, but it could be a channel where you don't show your face at all, or you don't talk at all. All you need to do is you need to think about videos that people are going to be searching for, videos that people are going to enjoy watching. And then what you could do is you can hire someone on Fiverr or Upwork to script out the entire video. There's people that will make scripts for you. Then there's other people that will create the actual video for you, that will edit it for you, that will do the thumbnails for you. And you could start putting these videos out on YouTube. And if you're able to build out a good portfolio, a good repository of videos on YouTube, and over time, over trial and error, start seeing some traction, then you could start making money off of not only advertising revenue, but also sponsorships and so on. I mean, there are people out there making millions of dollars on YouTube, and there's literally no reason why you can't make a couple of, $1,000, $2,000 a month over a period of time if you dive in and you really try. The next side hustle is a digital ad agency. And what this is running advertisements on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, or in any of these different platforms for different businesses. This could be businesses owned by baby boomers, just like we went over earlier on in the video, or businesses in general that are doing zero advertising at all. And again, this is a skill set that you can learn very quickly by teaching yourself, by watching YouTube videos, right? Even videos on my channel where I showed you how to go out there and advertise, and you could start providing this service for businesses. And this is a service that has the potential to make a lot of money. And again, it's one of those things where maybe you want to start off by providing a free service to a couple of different clients so you could get some feedback, you could get some reviews, and then start charging. The next side hustle is Airbnb Arbitrage. And this is actually super interesting. I don't do it myself. I do have an Airbnb property. I have some videos on the channel going over that property and how much money it makes and everything. Make sure you check that out if you want to see it. But Airbnb Arbitrage is a little bit differently because you don't need experience, you don't need a ton of money, and it has the potential to make a lot. Now, it's a little bit sketchy, it's a little bit hard to make the business work, but it actually takes no experience, right? So Airbnb Arbitrage is all about renting a property and then putting that property on Airbnb. Now, you need to make sure that you have the permission of the landlord, right, to be able to do that. But for example, let's say you rent an apartment for $2,000 a month and you put that apartment on Airbnb and you start renting it through short-term rental, right? 2 nights, 3 nights, 1 night, 7 nights, right? All these different time spans. And in a month, you bring in, $6,500 or $7,000, right? So you brought in $7,000. The rent is $2,000, $2,500, right? Then you have a couple of different expenses like electricity and cleaning and stuff like that. And you can be left over with a couple, grand a month from literally a rental property that you didn't even have to buy, but one that you leased. There's a lot of people out there doing stuff like that. I've never done it myself, but I have seen it and I do know that it does work. The next side hustle is an Airbnb management company. Now, when it comes to my own Airbnb, I manage it myself with my team from my other companies. But the management is actually pretty simple. But my Airbnb is in my local town, which is where you have the advantage. Because where you live, right, it's probably a place where, there's Airbnbs all over the world. If you go to Airbnb right now and you type in where you live, I'm sure there's Airbnbs in your area. Now, here's the thing. Not everybody that owns those Airbnbs lives in your area. And so what do? Well, they outsource the management to someone that lives in that area where it's much much simpler to manage the property, right? Like if someone lives in Washington State, they don't want to manage a property themselves that is in Miami, Florida, because it's too far away, it's too difficult. So they're going to look for someone in Miami, Florida to manage that property for them. Now, an Airbnb property manager, right, charges anywhere between 16, 17, 20% of the gross revenue. So for example, my Airbnb property makes anywhere between $12,000 to $15,000 a month in gross bookings. Let's say 15,000, just so the numbers are simple. So 20% of $15,000 is $3,000. So if I was paying a property manager to manage this one property, okay, there's one property, 20%, they would be making $3,000 per month. Now, because you're new and because you would just be getting started, you could charge 15%, 12% even, right? So now you're undercutting potential competition in your area, and that is a way that you can take customers from other people, as well as make it so that people choose you as opposed to others. The next side hustle is actually one that I had a need for when I was first getting started with selling on Airbnb, and that is a short-term rental laundry service. Now, this is actually genius, and I think this would be an amazing idea for someone that is interested in doing something like this. So the issue that I was having is that at 11 a.m., a guest would leave the Airbnb, and then at 4 p.m., on the same day, another guest would be arriving. And so the issue would be that the cleaners did not have enough time to do laundry throughout that time span because there's so many things to do. And so what I was looking for a very long time, and I couldn't find anything that made sense, was a laundry service that was completely centered around short-term rentals that could come to the property, take all the laundry, take it to a laundry, do the stuff, take it and bring it back to the home when the home was vacant again. So I think this is an amazing idea, and your target market, well, it's all the Airbnbs in your area that I'm sure a lot of them would really want a service like this. The next side hustle is local business lead generation. So the hardest thing about most local businesses is getting leads, right? And doing estimates. For example, if you have a local company that does plumbing, you want to go and give people an estimate. If you are a local business that paints houses, you want to give estimates, because the more estimates that you're giving, the more chances of you getting jobs, right? If you are someone that puts blinds that installs blinds, you want to be doing constant estimates. And so if you can build a way, if you can create a way to get leads, right? To get leads and give those leads out to these people for a percentage of the profit of the job or a percentage of the gross, then this is an amazing side hustle. And it's actually a side hustle that I know someone that does this, and they make over $20,000 to $30,000 a month sometimes doing exactly this. And so here's exactly how they do it. They go to Thumbtack, they go to Angie's List, and they build different websites, okay? Different websites online that are centered around the local business. So for example, Miami Blinds, or Plumbing in Miami, or Paint Your House Miami, right? So they have different websites with the name of what it is and the location. Wherever it is that you live, you would obviously put the location of that. And then they make really simple websites, right? Like Pool Cleaning Miami, Pool Service Miami, all these different really simple, Wix websites that anyone, like a blind person, can make in 20 to 30 minutes. And each of those websites has a phone number. And so what happens is when that person calls, then the call goes directly to the lead person. And then obviously you need to build the relationship with the people that are actually satisfying the job to make sure that you're getting paid for these leads coming in. Whether you get paid for everybody that calls them or anything like that, that's something that you would have to figure out. But this is a business model that has the potential to make a lot of money. The next side hustle is being a virtual assistant manager. And so really what this is about is in you providing people with virtual assistants and managing them, but allowing them to fulfill whatever service needs to be fulfilled. For example, if I need someone to respond to my emails, or if I need someone to pick up the phone, or if I need someone to do different tasks, I would likely go to to an agency, right, which is what you would be, a virtual assistant manager, to provide me with a virtual assistant for a task, but have it be someone that is already trained, right? I don't want to have to train someone. I don't want to have to manage them. That's exactly what you would do. And so how the billing would work is that you would charge me, $7, $8, $9 an hour for this virtual assistant, but the virtual assistant is charging you $3, $4, $5 an hour. So you would make the difference off of that. The next side hustle is a pool route business. And this is a very simple business, one that you could learn extremely quickly, and one that if you get enough clients, turns into a recurring revenue that can actually be a lot. And it could become something, it could become a business that you can even sell in the future. So for example, let's say that over 6, 7, 8 months, you're able to amass 50, 60, 70 pools that you're cleaning on a monthly basis, and you have each pool paying you, let's say $150, which is actually pretty good. That would mean that you're getting paid $10,500 every single month to have a pool route, right? Different pools that you clean on a monthly basis, whether that be once a week, every other week, and so on. Now, obviously you have a cost there, which is the cost of the actual, the Clorox and the different things that you need to do, and you need to go around and fulfill this service, or again, you could outsource this to someone locally. But it is an amazing business, and it's a business that has the potential to grow as far as you make it, because there's an unlimited amount of houses with pools, and it's something that can be sellable in the future. The next side hustle is investing. And this is actually one of my favorite. And before 2020, I had never invested a single dollar in my life. Like, I was just on full growth mode and making more money and making more money, and I had never invested anything. Now, when it comes to investments, we can make a 10-hour video on investing alone, but there's so many different ways for you to go out there and invest. What I'm gonna focus on here is gonna be the lowest risk investment you could ever make. So you could have the money in your bank account, in your checkings account, which pays 0. Then the next step up is to find a high yield savings account. And I know that this sounds simple, but most people don't have their money in a high yield savings account, and they're losing hundreds and hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars over the years because of this simple mistake. Especially right now that the yield on savings account is so high. So the first thing you need to do is find a high yield savings account and put some money there. For example, I have some money in a high yield savings account that returns a 2.2% return every single year. The next really low risk investment are treasury bills as well as savings I-bonds, right? These are bonds that you could buy on a website called treasurydirect.org, where you could put in $10,000 every single year. And at least right now, at the time of making this video, the return is 9.62%. So imagine if you put in there a couple $100 every paycheck, you'll be making 9% in a year. 9.6%. This is an amazing return, as opposed to you just leaving the money in your bank account and have it just lose buying power due to inflation. Now, if you want me to make a video specifically about investing and how I'm investing my money and all these different things, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. But savings I-bonds and treasury bills and a high yield savings account, those are some of the things that you need to look into so that you could start your side hustle in investing, because leaving your money in the bank is doing absolutely nothing. The next side hustle is renovating sideboards, right? So a sideboard is that piece of furniture that usually goes next to the dining table. And I actually got this idea from TikTok. I was on TikTok the other day and I see this guy who buys this sideboard on like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or something like this, and he buys it for like $100. And this guy takes this thing, he sands it down, he paints it, he changes the handles, and he makes it look absolutely amazing. And it took him a couple hours, and you don't need any experience. You can literally look up a video and do this. And he sold that same exact sideboard for $500. Like, he literally made $400 in a couple of hours just by doing this very simple thing. We're gonna put some pictures here of some of the before and afters. We'll find some online so that you could see what I'm talking about. But I think this is a super simple business and one that can make you a couple $100 a day for sure. The next side hustle, a little bit similar to the last one, is flipping couches, right? So it's still based around this idea of going on Facebook Marketplace, going on OfferUp, going on all these different places and finding couches that people are selling for a little bit of money and literally just reposting it immediately with a better picture, a better name, a better description, and so on. I've seen people making hundreds of dollars on YouTube a day, hundreds of dollars a day on YouTube, showing themselves, doing these types of flips with couches, which I think is a pretty funny idea. Next up, we have a mobile car wash service. So this is something that I use all the time. And I think this is a pretty cool side hustle, something that you could do on the weekend or something like that. And it's have a number of clients who you go to their houses, whether it's in your neighborhood or whatever, and you wash their cars inside and outside. You don't need anything but some sponges and some liquids and maybe a vacuum, right? It's something that you could start with absolutely no experience, no money, and make a couple $100s a day, almost guaranteed. And finally, we'll wrap up this video with the last side hustle, which is a pressure washing business. So again, very similar to a mobile car wash, same type of service, except you're pressure washing. You could pressure wash driveways. If you're not scared of heights, you could pressure wash roofs, right? Like roofs on houses. Like literally pressure washing a roof on a house is a couple $1,000s, right? Depending on the size of the roof. But I remember I got a quote for my house and it was a couple $1,000s, which is absolutely insane. This is literally something that if you're just getting started, you could go to Home Depot, you could rent a pressure washer, and you could start almost immediately. Now listen guys, if you've gotten up to this point in the video, do me a favor, hit a like, hit a subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me a lot of time to put together and kind of go over all these different ideas and ways that you could go out there and start making money today. Remember, it's not just about watching a video like this and just watching it and moving on and not doing anything. Go through this video a couple of times until something clicks, but most important of all, start taking action and start something today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.